The Janome CC1000 is a computerized sewing machine, so you have stitches that are really easy to select, and a lot of those are decorative stitches. There are 30 of those in total. The thing that I like about this sewing machine, above any of its many features, are the fact that it comes to you with a foot pedal, but you don't need to use the foot pedal. Now, there are many of you that aren't very able-bodied or not very well coordinated and can't get on with using a foot pedal at all, but this machine has a speed control on the front and a start-stop stitch, so you don't need to use it. And for those of us that are lucky enough to be able-bodied, that means that you can sew at countertop height if you prefer to stand, but it also means if you've got large projects like curtains and you want to lay them out on the floor, you can pop the machine on the floor without getting into a yoga position while you're trying to use the foot pedal. There are feet included, and it comes to you with a hard cover as well, and I'm thinking projects like homewares or a applique like I've done with this little tea cozy. I've just zigzag stitched the letters on the front, but you could have equally as well used those decorative stitches, so let's take a look at those. Now, all of these stitches, all 30 of them, are in diagram form right here in front of you. So all you need to do is decide which stitch you're going to use and then program that in. You'll see on the LCD screen which number you're on. When you first switch the machine on, it'll come up with stitch number 1, which is a straight stitch. That's the one that you're going to use most of all. Number 2 will take the needle over to the left-hand side. So if you're sewing in a zip or you're doing piping or you just want to get very close to the edge of your work, you use number 2. Then we'll take you through different types of fabrics, stretch fabrics. We've got zigzag stitches. Some of these stitches look like heirloom stitches, like you've hand stitched them. We've got your security stitches, which are your overcasting or overlocking stitches. There's blind hemming stitches and for stretch fabric. And then if we move across, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 buttonholes here. The one on number 19 there is for stretch fabric. And then we've got more heirloom style of buttonholes. This one's a mending stitch, like a darning stitch, 22 and 23. Will close over a rip maybe in a pair of jeans. Then we have satin stitches and a blanket stitch, which again looks hand finished, a feather stitch, and finally is the star. The one that I'm going to choose is number 24, because I like the look of it. You've got so many to choose from, we can afford to have a play. So I'll put the foot pedal down. I need to key in here at the top, number 24, so I'm going to go down. There we go. And then, because I'm not using the foot pedal, I simply press start. And I'm going quite slowly to start with, because maybe you want to sew around a curve, or maybe you're not a very confident sewer. Here on the front of the machine as we're sewing away, you have a reversing stitch, there's a locking stitch, and your needle up-down position. All of this is explained in the manual. If I want to speed up, I slide that bar across to a speed that I'm comfortable with. Now I'm going on full pelt here. I'm sewing through 2 layers of quite heavy fabric. This is a curtain weight of fabric, but even all of the spare bobbins and feet that are on the front of the table aren't moving around because the machine isn't shaking, because it has such a high quality of a build quality. When I've finished, I can press stop. If I need to pivot, then I put the needle in the down position, lift up the presser foot and turn the fabric around. Put your presser foot back down again and you carry on sewing. I'm not in this case. I'm going to put the needle back into the up position because I'm going to choose a fresh stitch, and it's always important to take the needle out of your work when you're changing your stitch because the needle will move around. So I've gone up to number 30, which is a star stitch, and press start. And again, because you're in control of the speed here, if I'm going to sew around a curve, or I want to be very precise, sewing around letters or shapes or applique, then I can slow this right down while I manoeuvre the fabric. And all I'm doing with the fabric is guiding it. Don't push or pull it because you'll distort the stitches. You could even bend the needle. So simply guide it into the direction that you want it to go. And away we go. Now these stitches are so much fun, and it means that you can recycle, you can embellish, you can change things. You can maybe start a whole new type of sewing if you so wish. And if I just pull the fabric away here, you can see how perfect those stitches are. It's not just about the embroidery. Of course, you've got all of your utility stitches, and we are including for you an extra spool pin. This goes slightly on the back of the machine so you can do your twin needle sewing. We're going to give you a zipper foot so you can do your piping and insert zippers. We're going to give you your satin stitch foot, which is clear so you can see exactly where you're sewing. And the buttonhole foot that's included is one that measures the size of your button, so you're going to get perfect buttonhole shapes every single time. So as you can see, it's a very simple, easy to use, computerized sewing machine without the need for that foot pedal, which may be a starting point for those of you that are interested in not just applique work, but doing a little bit of patchwork and quilting, sewn through several layers of fabric with absolute ease.